video 8 of remote viewing, the future probabilities, and all kinds of timeline interweavings, all kinds of things that are going on the planet. So let's continue. All right, the last one I left off was the Galactic Federation of Light is not at all what people think. Please be discerning who you follow, where you get your information, because I did not see it as a benevolent, reliable source now or ever. So please be aware of that. All right, use your discernment if you want to do it. I've always warned about trends, you guys. Anything with a trend, please question everything. Just because people quickly jump on bandwagons does not mean it's worthy of your time, your energy, your money. Be discerning, because there's a lot of scammy shit out there. Just please be discerning, especially with the ET thing, because the ET thing gets so glorified and it gets so like just idealistic and so nutty. It gets nutty. Don't be nutty. Be grounded. Remember Home Station. We talk about this. You, in a lot of ways, as a human with a heart, are far more advanced than a lot of other beings in the solar system. So I will just say that. So be grateful you are who you are, because you are rich in so many things you cannot even imagine yet, but you will over time grow to really understand this, your richness and the value that you occupy, just everything. You being human, an aware human, you have no idea. Many of you are starting, or you do know, but the power that you have as an aware individual, you're a superhuman. Like, you're everything. That's everything. You're so powerful. Please know this. You're so powerful. All right. So the Galactic Federation of Light. I got that. Going back to that grid, you guys, I think this goes without saying. So that grid that I saw glitching, and then there was this new people embodying this light, this source light, were hooking up. They were creating a new grid. It looked beautiful. This light, it was so strong. The strength in this grid was amazing. So please know, people embodying this, I want to say solar plasma, or all this information, these new codes we've been taking in from the sun and other ways, you are a part of connecting to that grid and helping that come online. And it really looked, in my opinion, it looked promising. If you are someone, I'm going to be really honest about this. If you are someone who embodies hate, a lot of anger, I mean, we see these people online all the time. They're just vomiting, hate, and crazy. It's really crazy what you see online. That's one of the reasons why I waited so long to get online, because I was just like, this is a lot. So if you are someone who embodies a lot of hate, anger, resentment, all those lower vibrational emotions, you are literally killing yourself. And I did see a lot of these people who are so confused. We see them on TV and online all the time, just screaming and complete total mental collapse. I did see a lot of these people leaving. Like, you cannot be here. So we are in a time where if you cannot embody this energy and work with this energy that wants to work with you, you got to go. You're not going to have a long, sustainable life. I saw at some point most of these people have a expiration date, because the vibration of the planet is accelerating. I mean, it has been, right? We've been in this for a long time, but it's not going to be able to hold those dense pockets anymore. And there's so many people who are just violent with words, emotions, projecting, even the stuff that they don't say. Just because you have a thought does not mean it does not go out into the field. It does not mean that it is not pick upable. Like telepathy, again, people, you are naturally telepathic. When you understand this and you understand telepathy, try being in a crowded room with a bunch of people, and you're constantly just hearing everyone's unspoken stuff. That shit is not private. It's not private. It's very loud. It's at times louder than the things that you do say. Please understand this. For people who can read energy, thoughts are readable. There's a lot of stuff that people project, they have no idea. Learn telepathy. It's very fascinating. All right. So if you can't embody the new frequency, you can't be here. Obviously, this is not, going to happen tomorrow, but over time, this density is going to be really purged. So there was also allowed lower vibrational souls, or certain types of beings were allowed to incarnate to help lower the awareness of the planet. So more density. So that's also what you're seeing, is some of this chaotic energy was allowed to come here. Okay. I did talk about this before, but I did see millions and millions of people leaving the planet. Truly, I don't like to talk about that, but that is really what I saw. The amount of souls that I saw leaving this planet was jarring, even for me. I can handle a lot of information, but it was, whoa. So again, go back to other videos. It keeps coming up in my remote viewing, so I'm just kind of reiterating this. Also because it's in a sense like what happened in 2020, but different. In 2020, we either knew someone who got sick. I mean, I know people who knew a lot of people who passed, but this is something where everyone is going to know someone who dies. And I'm just going to say it really bluntly. Everyone is going to know someone who is not going to be here anymore. And I don't like to say that, but it will also be a unifying event. Something this massive will be a unifying event, hopefully, where people can start to come back together again. So, just be aware of that. I know I've mentioned that. Trust your guidance. And it's a bridge. It's going to create a bridge, again, a bridge from Earth to the spirit world. There was a big bridge and a huge psychic connection and awareness that was created through this mass leaving of people. And part of me wondered if this was also part of the soul harvesting, because a lot of people that I saw leaving were a lot of these people who just are not thinking. They can't think. They won't think. They hate the world. They hate you. They hate me. Everything is just like a hate fest. And some of these people in total mental collapse, you guys. So you're seeing these people and it gets really frustrating, even for me. And I'm a compassionate person, but I have boundaries, and I also have certain levels where I'm just like, I can't fucking do this with you anymore. This is impossible. So I did see that some of these people they're just getting dumb and dumber. And I don't know how else to say it. And I cannot sugarcoat this for you. Do you remember growing up? I know all people of all ages on here, but when I grew up, there was these cartoons and stuff of villains, and they always had these assistants that were just beyond stupid. Do you remember that? Like, just so stupid. Again, I'm not meaning this to be disrespectful, but I want to say it in this way because this is where it's going. Some of these people, the mental collapse, the decline is going to get so bad that eventually some of these people are just going to be gone. Like, gone. They cannot tell if it's Tuesday or Saturday. So I just want to give you a heads up, because I know many of you are experiencing the mental decline so bad, especially those of you who are really aware. You're really seeing this, and it's kind of painful, right? Because you're just like, whoa, sometimes it's a little scary, because you're like, how far down can we go with this? It's going to go far. Just beware. Observe. Boundaries more than ever before. Observe. Do not get involved. And these things may become really close to home. This may be really close friends, family, coworkers. It may be really close to home. And that's where it gets difficult. You cannot save everyone. Everyone on a soul level has chosen what world they want to be in, which way they want to go. Everyone has been given a choice. many opportunities and many choices. So please understand that this is a soul level thing, and people have made their choice. You can't save everyone. As much as, those who are aware, we want to shake and wake at this point out of desperation to take as many with us as we can. But there are people who have just chosen, they can't come. They can't make the leap, and they won't make the leap. So, don't lose your home station over someone else's personal choice. Okay? And don't let it make you sick. All right, because outside of all this, you're breaking out of something that you will never regret. I promise. This is much bigger than just living here now. What you do is going to pave the way for every other life to come. And you do reincarnate again. So this is going to pave the way for so many other times. And it's going to be like truckloads of gold, you guys. So please, as ouchy as it can be, you are going to thank yourself that you woke up and you did not cave and you did not bend and you were resilient. Just trust that. All right. I did see, let me read this really quick. Right now, that mist I talked about, that black mist that I saw trying to come in, and, that's when I talked about the suicide, all this kind of stuff, the manipulation of people and the minds and the emotions. I did see it is so thick. It has been so thick around Earth, the way that it was shown to me, that you could barely even see Earth. That's how much density has been here. In this grid, and everyone waking up in this light that you're embodying, you're creating holes in this. So, and it's getting so much more, I'll say holy, but it's not, and in religious terms, we don't go there, but there's so many more people, oh my gosh, now that are creating these huge pillars of light on the planet. And so it's allowing even Earth to breathe differently and better. And there's parts of her that feel softer, and I have such a sensitive spot with her because she does so much for us and we just don't do enough yet. Some of us do, but you know what I mean. Anyways, moving on. So you really need to know who you are. I talked about that. And I think there's also been some stories about this in the news, which I'm glad, because I've seen it in my remote viewing, but the AI, there's stuff with suicide with this as well. So if you think, especially with children, if you are a parent, be really careful what your kids are watching on screens, because I did see that there are layers coming through the screens of like suicide, self-harm, all these things. So please be careful with what they watch if you let them watch anything. And even you as a person, there's layers, there's subliminals, there are things that come in, even can create alters, fractures of your personalities. There's so much, you guys, you really got to look into. I think I recommended it in one of the books of, what is her name? It's called Transformation of America by Kathy O'Brien. And it talks a lot about the mind control, alters, all kinds of stuff. Whoa. If you have any sexual abuse or anything in your history, it could be very triggering. I just always like to say that because it's a very honest book, and she doesn't hold back, which she shouldn't. Her story is profound, and the fact that she's still alive is profound. So big support for Kathy. I already talked about her in another one, but I like to bring it up just in case again. So massive benevolent beings watching the earth, helping. And part of us, so I feel like the biggest, you're going to hear my tummy growl, misconception is, well, if there's all these benevolent ETs and all these, benevolent beings that can help us and save us, why don't they? You guys, we have been a slave species for so long. We have been so stuck in time for so long. We have to learn how to take our power back. We have to want to be aware. We have to do the work to save ourselves. And these beings, these benevolent beings, are not going to save the world. I mean, essentially they are helping Earth. Yes, that's different. But to save the entire human race is a, fucking pipe dream. How many people do you know are ungrateful just by you holding the door open for them? Letting them in a lane in traffic, paying it forward, buying a coffee, like sincere things. How many people do you know that is not even on their radar? It's crazy. So yes, these beings will work individually with people. They also work individually with it's telling me not to say this, but it works individually with people. I'll hold off on that. It works individually with people. This is water, by the way. It's not a happy hour cup. So yeah, they work individually with people. And I also saw some of that dragon energy that I saw was helping calm people down. So whether it was emotionally, mentally, I saw them really working with people to calm down this like Aries fire energy. It was what it looked like. It was just, trigger happy people. So, and these would be people high up in positions, right? So power positions, I did see them working with some people who were workable. Not all of them, but some. So again, there was just that strong message of we have to save ourselves, which many of you watching this already know, and I'm really proud of you. So the ETs are going to seed people with good heart and good intention. Let's see here. There's a lot of renegades here, you guys. Tons of people who have incarnated, especially old war veterans who are the diehard patriots, which I love, totally in support of, but they're the ones who fought the wars, the old wars, and they're coming back essentially to help reestablish and protect the country, especially the United States, like they did, back in the day, especially around the Declaration of Independence and all that. A lot of these old war veterans are back to take back the country again. So that you'll see them in those diehard patriots, which I thought was pretty cool. The establishment now, today, with Trump and them, they are old, reincarnated, old patriots. I'm not going to say specifically who, but they're connected to that time period as well. And yes, there's other layers, there's ET layers, but I'm not going to get into that. But there's layers, which I thought was interesting. So, okay. Again, going back to the people, if you hate yourself, you're going to be either taken out or taken over by an entity, demonic. I mean, you can see some of these people, the way that they treat their bodies, destroy their bodies. You literally see them, you're like, do you hate yourself? You look like you hate yourself. I'm not saying this to be judgmental, but there are people who literally look like they hate themselves by the way that they treat and have destroyed their body and all kinds of stuff. You're just like, wow, that's really unhealthy. So I highly recommend not also associating yourself with people like this, because oftentimes what I see, especially through my work, is these people are carrying things a lot. It's been very rare when I've had a transgender client who hasn't had some form of demonic attachment or serious entity feeding off of itself for many reasons. Because on the most basic functioning level, you are disowning and hating the very basic parts of yourself that you created. And when you hate yourself, that also can lay out a welcome mat for something to come in and run you. And so be aware of that. Again, it's not to shame or anything, but everything is awareness. And we have to be able to be okay talking about things that are not, slumber parties and cupcakes. All right. I'm going to start a new one.